Hello there, greetings everybody, welcome here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph, I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So here we are, we're back with the show that I do at the beginning of every week, which is called This Week. Just basically details the content of the channel for the week, and sometimes in the future maybe a little bit going back into the past if we have to. I don't have anything for the past today. Everything's pretty good so far. The only notable thing is that I've missed metal now 2 weeks in a row. So we are going to change that to a different day. And hopefully that will help the situation. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to get on with the show. So the first show that usually comes out during the week, other than this one, comes out on a Sunday night, which is Ben's Album Challenge. This week we're doing the album Echoline, as the World. So I've reviewed this album a couple times already. I've listened to the album a couple times and I've done a review, and I'm going to upload that later today. Monday nights look back at a classic rock album. The album I've chosen for this week is this one, Steely Dan's Can't Buy a Thrill. Yeah, a really good album. I think this may be the fourth Steely Dan album I've had on my playlist over the two plus years I've been on this channel. I think this may be the best one of them all. So we're going to be doing a review of that one this week for Monday Night's Look Back at a Classic Rock Album. Then we go to Wednesday. Skipping over Tuesday. We have no shows on Tuesday for a bit until the new year, and then we'll be launching a couple new platforms. So the favorites, which is probably the most popular show on this channel, this week we're doing my 10 favorite albums that were released in 2023. Yeah, most of this stuff, in fact all of this stuff, I did reviews on What's New, which comes out on Thursday. I decided instead of doing a top 10 on what's new, I'm going to do that on favorites. Makes more sense for me. Gives me an extra opportunity to do one more album for what's new for the year, and that will go forward as well. So yeah, so we're doing my top 10 favorite albums from the year 2023 this year, and we'll do that on Wednesday, of course. Okay, and then the next show up is Thursday night's What's New. This week I went back. I had skipped over a band because there was others I'd wanted to do first. I did 3 or 4 of them, and now I'm going back to do this one for the final day or the final episode of the year, which is Dirty Honey. Can't find the glasses. Yeah. Let me try and figure it out. Oh, can't find the brakes. I remember now. Anyways, I do apologize for that. I do not know where I put my glasses. That's unusual. I usually have them right here, but I must have moved them. Okay, so anyways, the next episode that usually comes out will usually come out on Friday, but we're moving it to Saturday at 11 p.m. There will be 2 new shows. Well, there'll be a new show joining it, but for this week it's going to be metal, and of course we're still doing Celtic Frost, as I haven't done them yet, and I'm going to try to get that done on Saturdays at night instead. It gives me more time. During the week has turned out to be a little bit tougher than I had originally thought it would be, so that's the reason why it's been delayed. So I'm going to do it starting on Saturday nights. We'll do that. The series is still running, so we're on to the series now. The series is running. We are on this morning was the final episode of the second round. If you want to watch the results of that, you can do that by looking back and seeing the episode for this morning. Then Ben will give me the remaining 8 contestants. Will be the next ones on The Price is Right. Will be in the quarterfinals to face each other, and then there'll be 2 more episodes this week in which it'll be the semifinals, and then the finals will come on next Sunday, which will be New Year's Eve, apropos. So that's how the series is going thus far. It's been interesting for me. A lot of bands, or a lot of solo artists that I probably wouldn't have listened to if not for this, but it was good because I got into a few of them, which is, if you can get 4 or 5 things out of a series like this that turn you on to somebody and get you interested in another band, then it's well worth the cost of the time that you put in. So normally Ben does this series as well, so he's the one that puts all these bands together, so it's all interesting for me as well, not just you. Okay, on to what else is coming up. Okay, so in December there will be, in January there will be no series. I'm going to do 3 mini-series. The first one will be the Yes Genesis one that I talked about briefly last month, which is I have chosen 6 topics and an album from each band that fit the topics, and we will discuss them as how they relate to each other, which one we like better, which one we think that was better put together, that kind of stuff will be for that first six episode mini-series. The second episode is also the second mini-series is also a 6 episode one, and it's going to detail the I've chosen 6 progressive rock bands who I think are as good as the ones at the top. Well, close to as good as the ones at the top. But for some reason, they never really made it they never really made it that well commercially. Never made that jump. Never became part of the mainstream for whatever reason. The average person on the street may or may not know these bands. People on the YouTube, the Prog community here on the YouTube, they would definitely know them all. There's no problem there. So I chose 6. I had about 18 down. I chose 6 of them for the list. Decided that 6 was enough. The other 12 I will put in honorable mentions. And now let's talk briefly about why I chose not to include them as part of the 6. There's reasons for it as well. So that will be the second miniseries. The last miniseries is kind of... I haven't been too kind to Kiss in recent episodes, so I decided that it's time to do a Kiss mini-series. This is for the Kiss fans, of course. So I'm going to do a kind of a unique series, I think. We're going to do the top 10 songs by each of the original vocalists, the original members, sorry. It'll be easy enough to find stuff for Paul and Gene to put my top 10 songs from each of them. Peter should be easy to, I think Peter can be done as well. I'm not sure how Ace will work out because he didn't sing as much until later in his career with the band, but I think there might be enough to do a list for him as well. But not just the list, we're going to talk about the attributes of each of the members of the group and the things I like about them, and why this band, unlike so many other bands, had such a huge impact on me. They were literally the first rock band for me. I mean, you could count BTO. I had 2 or 3 songs by them, and I like them, and they were probably originally my favorite band, although I never thought of it in that terms at the time. Once Kiss took over, they literally were forefront in my thoughts and became my favorite band, and I knew they were my favorite band because I didn't listen to any other bands. So for the first couple of years, they were the dominant factor for me to get into rock music. And so I wanted to do this kind of a discussion about them, the 4 of them. They've had other members since, but those are the 4 I'm going to talk about. I will mention a little bit about Eric Carr probably throughout the episodes because I think he's another one that I really like quite a bit. Anyways, overall, I think this will be the last of the miniseries for the month. So there'll be only the 2 6-series miniseries, and then 2 6-episode miniseries. Sorry, and 1 4-episode miniseries. So that will take up all of January, and in February we're doing the sweet vocals of the rock artist suite with sweet vocals. I'm going to have a title for it, but I don't have one yet at this point in time. And I've already begun to put this together, so I have a couple people that I think I'm going to rely on to sound off who I want on the list and discuss them before we put them out. So this will be a series which involves those vocalists that have that sweet sound to their voice. Maybe it's very smooth, maybe it's very operatic, maybe it just has that kind of sound that is just, that permeates everybody. But they, generally speaking, they'll have a song or two in their repertoire that really give you almost goosebumps. And so these will be the 28 bands for that, or 28 artists for that. And I decided to do it in February because it makes sense, because it's Valentine's month, so it gives something that's along those lines. So that's it for the upcoming stuff as of right now, as far as weekly and monthly go. We will also be launching 3 new shows in the new year. The first 2 will be on Tuesday nights. They'll be alternating. One's going to be called Album Sides. The other one I haven't chosen a name for, but basically it's going to be ranking the songs of a particular album. I have been doing this on my favorites, but there doesn't seem to be enough time and enough. I have too many other things I want to do on favorites, so it's not getting much time in there. It gets once in a while, but I wanted to do it more regularly, so we're going to do that show for Tuesday as well. So it'll alternate with album sides. So you have album sides one week, next week you'll have ranking the album, ranking the songs from the album, and both of those will have titles. Probably in next week we'll, because they're going to launch next week, so we will have titles for everything by then. And the last new episode that will come out will be on Saturday as well. We'll alternate on Saturdays for the time being until I decide if I can do this on a Friday. And it'll be at 11 o'clock. The new one is going to be called Into the Prog World. So it's just going to be basically an episode similar to Metal. Metal, for those of you who are not familiar with it, is an episode where we talk about heavy metal bands, both past and present. I split, so the present ones I do one week, the past ones I do the other week. The separation line is like 10 years, so anything older than 10 years goes in the past, and anything newer than 10 years is talked about in the future. And I basically talk about a particular band. This week will be Celtic Frost, so everything that they've done. I generally go over it fairly in general terms about their history, about their music, how I see them, whether I like them or not, that kind of stuff. This will be the same in Into the Prog World, except for it'll be about progressive rock, and it'll be more in depth because I know more about prog music. So, and there won't be any of that separation between new and old. It'll just be whatever prog band I decide to do. There's so many of them, it's going to be easily take up. Well, if it's alternating, it'll be 26 episodes, so it should easily be able to find 26 prog bands for that. So, anyways, those are the new shows that are coming out on the channel starting in January. The other note that I should make is, and I've saved this for last because it's impactful, Ben is going to be taking a bit of a hiatus from doing what he normally does for me for a month or so, maybe longer. It's up to him. He's got things that he has to do and wants to do, so for the month of January, for sure, there will be no more the Great Album Challenge or Ben's Album Challenge for that month. We may come back with both of them, or we may do something completely different when he does come back from his hiatus. And I thank him greatly for all his support. He's helped me quite a bit. Those 2 shows have been popular with me and with most of the people who watch the channel, and we owe much of that to him, as well as the series we're currently doing, which is his baby he put together, and I'm just doing the legwork here on this end. So I do thank him for all of that as well. So having said all that, that's the channel for the week. I hope you will enjoy this. If you do, please hit the like and subscription button. Any comments you have about what we're doing here, or anything you'd like to see, or anything like that, you can put in the comment section below. And please hit the notification bell if you want to be notified of our content. And we will see you next week on This Week. Take care. Bye.